Imagine a world where leadership is not about iron fists or endless boardrooms, but about raw courage, unfiltered hope, and the quiet revolution of showing up as your full self. That is the world Sanna Marin built, not just as Finland's youngest ever prime minister at 34, but as a beacon for what politics could be if we let humans lead like humans. Today, in this video essay, we are diving into why her upcoming memoir, Hope in Action, a memoir about the courage to lead, positions her as a powerhouse contender for the 2026 Nobel Prize in Literature. But here is the twist. This is not just about celebrating Marin. It is about the Nobel Prize getting a shot at redemption from its own bloody, controversial past. Because let us face it, the prize born from dynamite fortunes and scandal-plagued committees could use a virtuous hero like her to wash away the stains. Sanna Marin is not your typical literary darling. She is not holed up in a Paris cafe scribbling existential prose. No, she is the former prime minister who steered Finland through a pandemic, joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization amid Russia's shadow, and championed everything from parental leave to green energy, all while being a millennial mom who dared to go viral for letting loose at a private party. At her core, Marin's story is one of improbable ascent. Born to a working-class family in rural Finland, she rose from student activist to the world's youngest female head of state in 2019. Her government? A rainbow coalition of 5 parties, all led by women, pushing progressive policies that slash child poverty and boosted gender equality. But what elevates her from politician to literary force? Her memoir, Hope in Action, dropping November 4, 2025, from Scribner. This is not some dry policy wonkery or ghost-written fluff. It is a rallying cry, as the publishers call it, a raw, introspective journey through the highs of global diplomacy and the brutal toll of leadership. Marin does not just recount events, she dissects the emotional architecture of power, the isolation of decision-making during coronavirus disease lockdowns, the sexism she faced as a young woman in a man's world, and her vision for a new kind of leadership that is empathetic, inclusive, and fiercely human. Think of it like a Nordic becoming meets the year of magical thinking, personal vulnerability fused with urgent global stakes. In an era of fake-it-till-you-make-it memoirs from influencers, Marin stands out for its authenticity. She writes not to burnish her image, but to equip the next generation. Bring your full selves to the job, she urges. For the Nobel Committee, which prizes works that confer the greatest benefit on mankind, in ideal directions, like Bob Dylan's Poetic Rebellion or Olga Tokarczuk's Ecological Fables, this book screams literary merit. It is prose that heals divides, challenges norms, and inspires action. By 2026, with the book freshly out and buzzing, pre-orders are already spiking. Marin could be the fresh voice they need to signal. Literature is not just dusty tomes. It is a tool for tomorrow's world. But let us not sugarcoat it. The Nobel Prize in Literature? It is as political as a United Nations veto and twice as tainted. Founded by Alfred Nobel, the merchant of death, who made his fortune inventing dynamite in 1867, a substance that fueled wars from the Boer conflict to the trenches of Verdun. His will in 1895 funneled over 31 million Swedish krona, about $2.2 billion today, into prizes meant to benefit mankind. But that cash? Straight from the blood money of arms dealers. Critics have called it hypocritical from day one. How does a war profiteer anoint peacemakers and poets? Fast forward, and the scandals pile up like unread manuscripts. The 2018 Swedish Academy meltdown, allegations of sexual assault, nepotism, and leaks that forced 18 members to resign, turned the Literature Prize into a punchline. Past winners? A parade of controversies. Henry Kissinger's Peace Prize for Vietnam escalation, or literature picks like Knut Hamsun, who later backed Nazis. It is not just politics. It is a mirror to power's flaws, elitist, opaque, and forever chasing relevance. Enter Sanna Marin, the antidote. She is the antithesis of Nobel's ghost, pure, principled, and profoundly virtuous. No scandals in her ledger, just quiet integrity. She navigated Finland's North Atlantic Treaty Organization pivot without saber-rattling, prioritized mental health and governance, and called out toxic masculinity without apology. Awarding it to her in 2026 would not elevate Marin. She is already a global icon, untouchable by prestige. No, it would be the prize redeeming itself. A chance to honor a leader whose words bridge divides, much like the Nobel's lofty ideals, but without the dynamite residue. Imagine the headlines. From explosives to empathy, the Nobel evolves. Look, if the committee ghosts Marin? No sweat. She is too luminous for their tarnished tiara. Sanna Marin does not need a medal to matter. Her life is the literature, lived poetry in policy form. The Nobel's politics would only dim her shine, chaining her virtuous narrative to a legacy of compromise. She is the leader who danced through scrutiny, who parented a toddler while plotting the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's future, who reminds us that purity in power is not a fairy tale, it is a fight. But oh, what a misredemption arc for them. In a world fracturing under authoritarian echoes and climate dread, Marin's voice, clear, compassionate, courage-fueled, could rebrand the prize as forward-thinking, not fossilized. It is not about crowning her, it is about the Nobel finally living up to Nobel's haunted wish: benefit mankind, for real this time. Hope in Action * is not just a book, it is a lifeline. For 2026, let us hope the Nobel seizes this chance to evolve. Because in the end, true literature does not wait for prizes, it ignites change.